Hi, welcome to the first episode of Ask a Therapist. My name is Stacy. I'm a therapist in private practice in the Jackson, Mississippi area. I'd like to start this first episode by saying that while I am giving advice and I am a mental health professional, that you should not consider this to be a substitute for mental health treatment or therapy in your own area. So if you're having issues, if you're struggling with something, I do encourage you to reach out to somebody who you can actually go and sit down with face to face. So while I do enjoy answering questions, definitely don't use this as a substitute for mental health treatment. So if you are interested in asking me a question, you can do so by emailing me, askstacy@stacyaldridgelcsw.com. Please be sure to let me know whether or not you want me to include your first name. It's up to you to let me know what from the email that you send me you want for me to exclude so that there's no identifying information. I definitely won't share things like your last name or your email address or anything like that, but if there are specific things that you don't want me to read, please make sure that you specify that in the email. Now, I am active on a website and app called Quora, and I will put a link in the description box to my profile there if you're interested in asking me a question there or reading some of the questions that I've answered in the past. I do have a couple ask to answer questions on Quora. That is when somebody requests that I specifically answer the question in addition to other people, because questions on Quora are open for anybody to answer regardless of, experience level, qualification. So when you ask a question there, you're going to get a lot of different answers. Someone asked on Quora, do therapists ever get frustrated when friends and family only reach out to them for emotional support and do not reciprocate the same support? I love questions like this because, everybody is different. All therapists are different. There are some who are they might be very cold and well, what do you think that therapists feel? But I'm a little bit more personable. For this question, my answer is, well, yeah. Don't you get upset when your friends and family only want to tell you their problems but then never want to listen to yours? That's human stuff, right? Therapists are people. We're just like everybody else, except we have very highly specialized training in a particular field. And that does happen to be therapy, counseling. It makes sense that people are going to come to you to ask questions. I have a really good friend who works in the beauty industry, and when I have a question about something makeup or skincare related, I go to her to ask that question because I know that she's the expert. She knows more than I do. And I'm sure that people deal with this in every field. Anytime a relationship is one way, meaning you just give and give and give, and you don't get anything in return, that's unhealthy and it's going to be frustrating. Now, some people may say, well, isn't that what a therapeutic relationship is? You give and give to your clients and you don't get anything in return. But that's not true because we do get paid. It is our job. So, there has to be an exchange in every situation for it to be healthy. So I don't mind when people ask me questions, but I feel like if somebody in my personal life took advantage of that, I would be upset about it and say, hey, could you listen to my problem? Because here's something that's going on with me that I'd like to talk about, and see how they respond. And if they are interested in that, then I would probably take a step back from that relationship. When you're friends with somebody, you're friends. When they're your family, and it would be unethical to treat somebody who was a close friend or a family member. So I think that, as professionals, we do have to keep that in mind, that we need to come at it at a different level sometimes. I think, it is frustrating when people want a lot from you, but at the same time, I think that's more indicative of an unhealthy relationship. And I think that that's something that we all experience, not just people who are professional therapists. And the second question that I got on Ask to Answer in dating advice. And we all have our niche, the stuff that we really like. And one of the things that I do really like to work with people on is relationship issues, healthy relationships. How can we make our relationships more healthy? So in the dating advice section, somebody asks, why should I stay loyal in a relationship? Wow. That's a tough one. Why shouldn't you? I guess and I'm not preparing these answers in advance. So y'all should know that this is all coming from, an in the moment place, just like it is in therapy when we discuss things. So I guess my answer would be, why not be loyal in a relationship? When we get into a romantic relationship, we do so because we have romantic or maybe sexual needs that we want to be met. So the things that we get out of being in a relationship would be companionship, support, and relationships. I feel like we have a lot more options in modern society than people did maybe 50 or 100 years ago. 100 years ago in the United States, that would have been in 1920, the roaring 20s. And people, for the most part, still met somebody, they got married, they had kids, and that's just how it went. And monogamy was implied. It was required in many people's minds, but we also know that in many marriages, one or both partners will cheat on the other. So it wasn't healthy. It's certainly not healthy to have a relationship where you're not communicating your needs. And for some people, those needs might be multiple romantic partners, polyamory, might be multiple sexual partners, which might be not polyamory, but just an open relationship. So I think one of the great things about modern relationships is that we feel more free to ask for what we need. So instead of meeting somebody, getting married, and then talking about or realizing, hey, maybe I don't want to be monogamous, we now have the option of realizing that non-monogamy is what we want, and then meeting people saying, I'm non-monogamous, or I'm polyamorous, I like to have multiple partners, and is that something you're interested in? If it's not something you're interested in, you find somebody else to date or get into a relationship with who is interested in that. If you meet somebody and say, hi, I really like you, I'd like to ask you out for coffee. You go out to coffee and you're talking about yourselves and you're talking about your life. And you say, yeah, I'm non-monogamous. I have a partner, but we date other people. That gives that person the opportunity to say, whoa, dude, not what I'm interested in. Or if you're on an app, putting on there that you're polyamorous, or you practice non-monogamy, ethical non-monogamy, which is being open and upfront with everybody about what's going on. And that's healthy. What was unhealthy was, this pattern that we saw, like I said, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, where one person got involved in a monogamous relationship, decided that monogamy didn't work for them, and just decided to step out on the partner, and it was a secret, and it was cheating, and people's lives are ruined, marriages fall apart, your children are traumatized, there's no reason for that anymore. So maybe, for some generations, it's not as normal or common to be open with what you want and what you need, but it is healthy to be upfront about who you are and what you want, and to surround yourself with people who want the same things, because ultimately that's what we're looking for in a relationship. You know, we're not going out there looking for people who we don't have anything in common with, we don't have shared interests, we don't like to do the same things, we don't want the same things out of life. Why would you be friends with somebody like that, let alone in a serious or romantic or dating relationship with that person? So you're looking for somebody that you have shared values, shared goals, perhaps shared interests. So it doesn't even make sense if you're somebody who wants an open relationship to get involved with people that don't, because you want different things. And when you want different things in a relationship, that's only going to cause problems. It's never not going to cause problems. You know, and people will say, well, compromise is important in a relationship. That is true. Compromise on things that are not our values, our morals, our life goals is a big part of a relationship. But what you shouldn't compromise and what you shouldn't expect your partner to compromise on are those things that are fundamental to who we are or what we want. So you shouldn't expect a person to compromise on monogamy. If they want monogamy, they're not the person for you. So knowing going into it what you want and being able to say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is who I am, is going to make it so you don't have to be stuck in a relationship where you're loyal to someone and you don't want to be. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider subscribing and also give me a thumbs up. If you're interested in asking me a question, you can email me, askstacy@stacyaldridgelcsw.com. If you are in the Jackson, Mississippi area and you are looking for a therapist and you're interested in coming to see me, you can visit my website that has all the information on my hours, my locations, and how to set up an appointment for therapy. Thanks for spending time with me. I hope that you've enjoyed the program. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And please remember, be kind to other people today and be kind to yourself. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.